A very good evening, all of you. I am with Shri Sanjay R. Hegde. He is the senior advocate at Supreme Court of India, and he has represented the students of NEET who have suffered because of exam leak. So, sir, what's your take on whole this NEET examination leak controversy?
Well, the NEET exam, as you know, determines whether somebody in India is going to be a doctor or whether he or she gets into dentistry or any of the other quasi-medical schemes, including nursing, Ayurveda, this, that, and the other. Now, this is one common exam all over India, and it is the most important exam for every middle class Indian student and parent who wants their child to do better. पढ़े लिख के डॉक्टर बन जाओ is a common blessing. Now that exam has to be totally fair. There should be no badmashi in between. But unfortunately, NEET 2024 suffered from a lot of badmashi. The various incidents all over the country, which basically said that the exams were not entirely fair. There was one major incident in a place called Hazaribagh, from where, according to the CBI version also, the exam papers were taken away from the strong room in the beginning, in the early hours of the day of the exam, and then they were sent on WhatsApp to be solved by people, and then students who were writing the exam in Patna were made to memorize the answers and then sent to the centers to answer those papers. Now, curiously, some of those students who were subsequently arrested, they don't seem to have done all that well. But all over, if you examine the results, there are so many really troubling statistics. Now, the NEET exam is 180 questions with 4 marks for a right answer and 1 mark for a negative answer. So, it is very rare that somebody can solve all 180 questions absolutely correctly and get 720. Sometimes 2 people do it, sometimes 3 people do it. But this year, you know how many? 67. 67 people the NTA declared as having got 720 out of 720. And a good NEET score, like about 650 and above, would get you a government college earlier. Now, this time there have been nearly 20,000 or 30,000 people who have got those high scores. So that only means that there was statistically also, it looks like the papers were leaked, and the leak, though started in Hazaribagh, was caught at Patna, may have gone much further. This was one place. This was one place and way that the exam was compromised. There were other ways also where the exam was compromised. There was an incident in Godhra where the invigilators promised people that you just leave your question paper blank and your answer sheet blank. Wherever you know the answers for sure, you fill them. The others you leave blank. We have time to send the answer sheets later, and we will try and fill it up so that you with the correct answers, so that you get very good marks. Many of these criminal schemes had the parents involved. The parents were paying huge amounts of money. Some say 30 lakhs, some say 40 lakhs, some say 75 lakhs. And some part of the money was paid up front, some part was being paid in post-dated checks. There is a CBI inquiry on about all this. Then there were places which got the wrong question paper. All kinds of errors happened. Now, when a system is riddled with all these inconsistencies, you do not necessarily get a fair result. I don't think that even the education minister can put his hand on his heart and say that, look, the results of NEET undergraduate 2024 were a correct assessment of the relative students' capabilities. You know, there was a girl from Gujarat who scored 705, which was a very high score in NEET. But she, in her 12th standard, she couldn't pass. She wrote the supplementary and she couldn't pass even the supplementary. Now, how could she get 705? And just imagine if she had cleared her supplementary, she would have walked into a government seat, one of the best government seats. Do we want our future doctors, our dentists, our nursing staff, and everybody, our basic future to be judged this unfairly? However, what all these points were put up for the Supreme Court, but the government said no. See, these are small little incidents. बड़े-बड़े देशों में छोटे-छोटे चीजें होते रहते हैं, and there you see they said that what happened in Hazaribagh and Patna had happened only on the day of the exam, though there were statements which said no, it had happened a day before or a couple of days before, and that it would be unfair to ask for an exam for all 24 lakhs to be held again. Ultimately, the Supreme Court considered everything and seemed to say that a re-exam was not called for. That is, thereafter, that was the operative order which they dictated the day of the arguments. Then they have written a more detailed judgment which has come later.
So, sir, do you expect this thing कि there were instances prima facie which can establish that there was the leak of examination?
Of course, there was a leak. It is, even the CBI admits that there was a leak. But their thing is that the leak happened only in one place, and whoever did it got caught and isolated, and therefore there was no necessity to cancel the exam. It is like this. I mean, let me give you a very homely example. When you're drinking tea, if a fly sort of happens to fall in, and you immediately take it out and scoop it out and send, some people drink up the tea. It's not contaminated. But if something poisonous actually falls in it and you do not know what is it, do you drink the tea? You don't.
We don't, yes.
So here it was a question of whether it was just a small contamination or something which was unknown, and it would be safer not to go ahead.
So, sir, was there a constitutional duty on the part of state or government to prevent this leak, and they have just understood it as a small instance?
Of course, there was a constitutional duty to be fair to everyone. Now, even if you thought it was a small instance, you could have very well cancelled the exam on your own. In fact, what the NTA did was to deny that a leak had happened, and continually denied it till the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court had to ask them, surely you don't mean to say that no leak has happened. Then they said, no, it was a leak which happened in only one place. Now, given all that conduct, I think, personally speaking, the NTA should have been fairer. Once it became apparent through the revelations of the Bihar police that there had been a leak, and when does this happen? This happens the next day of the exam on the 6th of May. If they had said, no, because of this leak, we will cancel the entire exam and redo it, everybody would have been assured of a fair exam. Today, even those who have studied hard, who have got very good marks and honestly got good marks, may still face aspersion. No, you did not get fair marks. It was in that exam of 2024, no? That was not a fair exam. So I don't think that this kind of stigma should have been allowed to be proceeded with.
Thank you, sir, for sharing your views. So with us, there was Shri Sanjay R. Hegde, who was expressing his views, and sir was the person जिसने इस पूरे मैटर में नीट एग्जामिनेशन के लीक की कंट्रोवर्सी में स्टूडेंट्स को सुप्रीम कोर्ट में रिप्रेजेंट किया, एंड ही हैज टेकन अ लीड टू एटलीस्ट मेंशन कि स्टूडेंट्स ने क्या फेस किया है. थैंक यू.
Thank you.